Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We've got a lot going on in North Carolina. So many jobs are coming to the state. So many people are making big things happen. This North Carolina Strong press conference is meant to amplify a few of North Carolina's recent positive developments in AI, economic development, public education, and disaster preparedness. First, today I'm going to sign an executive order on AI policy. AI has the potential to transform how we work, how we live. There are extraordinary possibilities with AI and also serious risks. Our state will be stronger if we are well equipped to take on these opportunities and challenges. That's why I've asked Secretary of Information Technology, Tina Piccioni, Secretary of Commerce, Lee Lilly, to co-chair the state's AI Leadership Council. It will bring together a wide variety of industry experts to help make sure that we're advancing use of artificial intelligence responsibly in North Carolina and seizing every opportunity to foster innovation. I'm pleased that Senator Todd Johnson, who couldn't join us, but Senator Deandra Salvador, Representative Jake Johnson, and Representative Zach Hawkins, who can be here today, have agreed to serve on this council with us. I'm also creating an AI accelerator. It's going to be within the Department of DIT to serve as a centralized hub of AI governance and implementation to improve public services. I'm directing each agency to create an AI oversight team within their department for seeking out best use cases where AI could help our government work better for people. That's what we want always, is to make government work better for people, and this is a tool that can help us do that. We're already seeing examples of AI being used by the state to identify unnecessary or overly burdensome regulations, as well as to provide user-friendly AI agents to help North Carolinians navigate state services. If we do this right, we can use AI to help unlock economic growth, attract innovation, improve government efficiency, and prepare our workforce for the jobs of tomorrow. I will now invite forward Secretary Piccioni to talk about this state's commitment.
Thank you, Governor Stein, for the outstanding leadership to advance responsible use of AI in our state. I am honored to chair this council with Secretary Lilly, and I want to thank the AI Leadership Council members for their commitment, their partnership on educating and shaping a responsible AI strategy that advances innovation and opportunity in North Carolina. North Carolina is already nationally recognized as a driving force and supporter of AI technology, and Governor Stein's executive order will empower us with the necessary tools to continue to move forward with transformative and trustworthy solutions that benefit the people, businesses, and communities of North Carolina. Earlier this year, we hired the state's first AI policy executive, Issa Saei. Issa is a true AI governance and ethics expert with over 25 years' experience. He has helped develop AI strategies and solutions as a consultant for policymakers, the United Nations, Fortune 1000 executives, and various nonprofits. I would like to recognize him and his team for the incredible work that they are already doing on this front. We do have an AI framework in place, which is a living document for state agencies to guide the responsible implementation of AI technology. We are building on this foundation and working towards the goal of having the most AI literate state government workforce in the nation. We've already held training for leaders across state government, and we are moving forward to build awareness and trust in how we can use this to our advantage everywhere in North Carolina. As Governor Stein mentioned, we are establishing an AI accelerator within our department to continue to explore and implement AI solutions to real-world problems. We want to drive responsible innovation by equipping all state agencies with the tools, talent, and guidance to deploy AI that delivers real results for the people of North Carolina. I could not be prouder of the teamwork that is taking place as we work together to strengthen our great state and position us for all of our future success. Thank you again to Governor Stein, and I look forward to the great progress to come.
Executive order advancing trustworthy artificial intelligence that benefits all North Carolinians. Thank you. Leading in AI is just one way that we can keep North Carolina a top state for business. This summer, as we all know, North Carolina is ranked the top state for business in the country for 2025, the third time in the last 4 years we've earned that ranking. This accomplishment speaks to the hard work of many people because economic development is the definition of a team sport. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. We have to keep building a state that businesses and workers alike want to come and call home. Today, I want to focus on one economic sector in particular, biotech. More than 840 life sciences companies called home, do business here in North Carolina, with an additional 2,500 companies serving the industry and its unique needs. All in, we're talking about 225,000 jobs in biotech in North Carolina. The sector generates $88.3 billion in economic activity a year, $12 billion in pharmaceutical exports, and $2.4 billion in state and local government revenues. Now, I know I just rattled off a lot of numbers, but every one of those numbers started with a B. We're talking about big numbers. I recently had the chance to join Thermo Fisher Scientific for the company's ribbon cutting of its new facility in Mebane, and Genentech for its groundbreaking in Holly Springs. Together, these projects are creating more than 500 permanent jobs in North Carolina, in addition to more than 1,700 jobs in construction to build the facilities. We have developed a thriving cluster in North Carolina that, in a virtuous cycle, serves to nurture, expand, and attract new life sciences companies to the state. So we should build on that success, and we do that by planning for it. Secretary Lilly is here with us today, and he's going to tell you in a moment more about the state's strategic economic development plan that the Commerce Department is putting together to keep North Carolina in the forefront of economic development and growth in this country. I will be joining the department's listening session in Pembroke next week. Without a plan, we don't know where we're headed. So I want to thank you, Secretary Lilly, for putting us on a path to the future, and I'll now bring you forward to address the topic.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Governor. I want to thank Governor Stein and echo his remarks on the strength of North Carolina's economy. His leadership and our enduring appeal to businesses continue to yield strong results and high-paying jobs, especially in growing sectors like biotechnology and aerospace. North Carolina's value proposition is strong to businesses of all sizes, and with a world-class workforce, a strong and friendly business climate, and great communities, we continue to attract great jobs. Our people, places, and partnerships make us stand out in a competitive market for economic investment. Over the past 8 months, under the Governor's direction and in partnership with businesses, local governments, and communities, the Department of Commerce has helped North Carolina to attract more than 23,000 new jobs and $19 billion, that's with a B, $19 billion in capital investment. This is a record-setting pace for job creation, and it proves the strength of the economic development model that we have built together. Most importantly, it means more opportunities to build prosperity for North Carolinians in every corner of this state. But we know that we can't rest on today's successes, and we have to plan for what's next. And that's why, in partnership with Governor Stein, the department is developing the next statewide strategic economic development plan. This plan will set the course for economic growth through the end of this decade and builds on the strong foundations of the First in Talent economic development plan that we adopted in 2021. We are working with a diverse steering committee of leaders in business, education, workforce development, and economic development, as well as local governments, nonprofits, and many others who help us to guide this work. We're also partnering with NC Impact Initiative at the UNC Chapel Hill School of Government to host listening sessions across all 8 of the state's regional prosperity zones and a virtual session for statewide engagement. Our economic development is strongest when it is driven by local priorities and strengths. These listening sessions will ensure that our plan reflects the best ideas from people in every region of our state, and that we're inviting everyone to take part in forming a plan that is rooted in community-based economic development. A full schedule of our listening sessions and registration details are available at the Commerce website at commerce.nc.gov. That's commerce.nc.gov. Our economy is strong and our progress is clear. But with this next plan, we're making sure that North Carolina stays on top, remains the best state for business, and continues to cultivate the conditions of prosperity in every part of our state. Thank you, Governor, for your leadership.
Superintendent of Public Instruction, Mo Green, will join me on our next topic, which is public education. Our public schools open doors of opportunities for 1.5 million North Carolinian young people. No matter our students' backgrounds, no matter where they live, every student has the chance to learn and grow in our public schools. They are the state's future. Therefore, they are the state's most important investment. We have to be smart and diligent about how we set them up for success. Just like with economic development, before we can make real progress in education, we first have to decide where we want to go. And that's what Superintendent Green and the State Board of Education's new strategic plan is all about. The plan is titled Achieving Educational Excellence. It sets bold and ambitious vision for North Carolina schools to be the very best in this nation. We should settle for nothing less. The plan builds on the state's successes and reimagines a system where every child is well prepared for the rest of his or her life. That means providing a rigorous education for our young people from pre-kindergarten through high school, an education that gives them the knowledge and skills to be successful in whatever they want to do after high school. Start a small business, go to community college, go to university, enlist in the military, join the workforce. This plan challenges us to revere educators, partner with parents, ensure that our children and staff have safe learning environments, and to galvanize champions for our public schools. It is a clear plan to take real actions with real metrics to make our schools the very best they can be. I commend Superintendent Green and the State Board of Education on how they developed this plan and what it means for North Carolina's future. In creating the plan, Superintendent Green traveled the state, listening to folks about their dreams, ideas, recommendations, and even frustrations. He and his team used that feedback to ensure that the plan represents the real interests of the people of North Carolina, most importantly, our students. This is North Carolina's plan. It will take us, every single one of us, working together to ensure that our students receive an excellent, life-shaping education. I'm honored to support the plan and be one of the many who will work hard to ensure its success. I will now bring forward Superintendent Green. Superintendent.
Thank you, Governor Stein. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Governor Stein, for your leadership and for bringing together the partners who are committed to making North Carolina strong. We are already, as the governor has stated, the best for business, and now it's time for public education. The initiatives you've already heard about today, artificial intelligence leadership and biotechnology innovation, aren't separate from education. Indeed, they depend on it. And our strategic plan positions North Carolina's public schools to be the engine that powers the state's future. Soon after I began my journey as North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction in January of this year, I embarked on a listening and learning tour. We called it Mo Wants to Know. From Waynesville to Windsor, I heard one resounding message. North Carolinians don't just support public education, they demand excellence from it. And so, as the governor has already alluded to, the State Board of Education and I present our answer, if you will, to that call. A strategic plan to make North Carolina's public schools the very best in the nation by 2030. This isn't about being competitive or even about reaching the top 10. This is about being number one, because that's what our 1.5 million public school students deserve. What makes this plan special, I would submit to you, are the following. One, it is student-centered. It goes beyond just mere test scores, as important as those are, to prepare students for life. It is educator-focused. It reveres those who make learning possible. It is community-driven. It was developed with North Carolinians, not for them. Thousands upon thousands provided input into the plan as they address questions like, what do you like and want to see continued in our public schools? What are the challenges and potential solutions? What are your big ideas? And how will you commit to making this plan successful? This plan is action-oriented. There are specific timelines, clear accountability, and measurable outcomes. And indeed, it is visionary. The goal to have the very best public education system in the nation by 2030. There are over 100 actions detailed in the plan that will be launched at various times over the next 5 years. However, we are not waiting, as the work has already begun. Some examples of that then, if you will. The Golden Leaf Foundation and its initiative to provide $25 million investing in transforming mathematics instruction in rural communities. North Carolina College Connect is transforming college access. This year alone, 63,000 seniors are discovering that it's not if they'll attend college, but where they'll attend college, because they have already been directly admitted to 34 public and private colleges and universities in North Carolina if they have at least a 2.8 grade point average. Some have even been admitted to 41. We have a new statewide student information system, Infinite Campus, and it's putting real-time academic and other data in the hands of families so they can work closely with their children. Schools are reclaiming focused learning environments by thoughtfully managing mobile device distractions. But here's what I want every North Carolinian to understand. This plan requires all of us, that's educators, families, parents, businesses, communities, students, all of us. You are essential to making this plan and its vision successful. And so I ask of you to do the following. Number one, read the plan. You can find it at North Carolina Department of Public Education's website. Hold us, certainly me, the State Board of Education, accountable for delivering results, and I would say hold yourself accountable as well, because you are part of this plan. And indeed, become a champion of public schools. Our educators deserve to be revered. Our students deserve endless possibilities, and North Carolina deserves the very best public schools in America. Together, we can achieve educational excellence. Together, we will become the #1 public education system in the country. Thank you.
Our last topic has to do with disasters. September is Disaster Preparedness Month. Unfortunately, we all know that in North Carolina we live in the path of many natural disasters, and many parts of our state are still in recovery mode, whether it's from Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Aaron, or Tropical Storm Chantal. And let's face it, we are being hit by many more storms than in the past. Over the previous 20 years, we anticipated 35 storms to hit North Carolina. We experienced 50. That means 15 more storms came than was expected, and these storms are not just numbers. Each one of them impacted people's lives, people's homes, people's livelihoods. So now more than ever, we as a state must invest in resilience. Now more than ever, we must build with an eye toward improving, not just restoring. Now more than ever, every North Carolinian must get prepared. Each one of us can take a few simple steps to be ready for whatever storm might hit and to know that our loved ones are ready as well. That means putting together an emergency kit that includes water, food, prescriptions, and supplies to last you several days. It means whether you're a cable watcher or Twitter follower, when bad weather is headed your way, make sure that you are following your local media advisories. Sign up for your county's emergency alert system to get the most up-to-date information. And it means making a plan with your family before any storm hits so that everyone knows exactly what to do should disaster strike. Each week this month, I will be talking about one aspect of what preparedness looks like. And I invite all state agencies, all local governments, all elected officials to join me in raising awareness of this issue. There is so much useful information at readync.gov. It's all about preparing a little in order to save a lot. I will now sign a proclamation on Preparedness Month. At this time, I'll invite forward speakers and the legislators to stand on either side of me, and feel free to address questions to any of us. Yes.
So first of all, let me be sure we set the context of what you mentioned. It was not DPI that was finding its, well, we did find ourselves in this situation, but it wasn't because of anything that the Department of Public Instruction had actually done. The federal government, on the eve of when dollars should have been and all have historically been released to departments of public instruction across the country, was being withheld. Right, and so it is that that caused the Department of Public Instruction to certainly go to the Attorney General, as many other Attorney Generals were approached as well across the country, ultimately to file a lawsuit. That lawsuit was to try to get the release of a total of $7 billion across the country. For North Carolina, it was about $165 million. So, now, what we have done since that point, because the dollars, at least the first wave of those dollars, ultimately were released, and pleased that that has happened. But there's another set of dollars that are to be released on or about October the 1st. And so it's my understanding that the Attorney Generals and others who are in the litigation are negotiating with the federal government and its administration to be sure that that second set of dollars does in fact happen on October the 1st. The lawsuit will not be dismissed until and such time as those dollars do come to every state, including North Carolina.
I will just add to that. I had a meeting with Secretary McMahon the day that the decision was announced, and I want to commend Attorney General Jackson and Superintendent Green for their leadership in advocating for North Carolina public school students. $5 billion, $6 billion, $7 billion, that is a lot of money. And it was gratifying to me that the first agenda item in our meeting, she immediately alleviated and said, we will be releasing those funds today. Laura. Yeah. Helene was absolutely devastating. It's just hard for people to understand the scope of it, the breadth of it, from essentially the Georgia line to the Virginia line and about 8 counties wide. The people out west have been nothing short of inspiring. The way that they have stepped up for each other has been moving. The nonprofits that were immediately on the ground, I was in Yanceyville, I was in, Yancey County with Baptists on Mission, helping them very poorly hang sheetrock in a teacher's home, but the homeowner didn't begrudge me. So the relief has been amazing in terms of what people have been doing for each other. What we have to ensure is that our state government and federal government rise to the same level of those neighbors helping neighbors. So I consider that my job. I've worked in partnership with the General Assembly. In fact, Representative Johnson is on the Hurricane Helene Advisory Council that I formed to make sure that we are well informed about our priorities as we go to the legislature. And the legislature has made 2 appropriations totaling in excess of $1 billion. It is not everything that I've asked for, but it's meaningful. And so our obligation is to put those funds back into the community as effectively and quickly as we can. And that's what we're doing. We just completed the first house in our HUD CDBG DR, a lot of acronyms. That's a federal program for housing reconstruction after a storm. We were the first state to get our plan submitted, the first state to have our plan approved, the first state affected by Helene to have finished a home. In fact, no state has moved faster than North Carolina in more than a decade after a major hurricane. So folks are working incredibly hard. This is a marathon. The work will not be done in 2025. It will not be done in 2026. I'm sad to say it probably won't be done in 2027. But what we have to be is committed to the long-term economic recovery. The point I want people of North Carolina to know is that Western North Carolina truly is open for business. That does not mean that every business is open, but every community has businesses that are open and have their doors wide open, welcoming in customers, many of whom are tourists. It's a very tourist-dependent economy. And so if folks have the opportunity this fall to go look at some leaves, you'll encounter incredible beauty, but at the same time, you will be doing something concrete that helps Western North Carolina to get back on its feet. So we've got a long way to go, but we're making progress. Well, I think we are going as fast as you can when you're dealing with a massive federal bureaucracy. We had our plan finished probably in February, but the federal government had not even issued the guidance for what the plan had to include. So once that came out, we had to modify it. We submitted it as quickly as we possibly could, and then it takes some time for the federal government to approve the plan. Then we had to negotiate the contract, and then they had to give us the first phase of funding. So I completely sympathize that things are not moving as fast as what people want, as what people frankly deserve. but we're moving as fast as we possibly can. I do want to commend the many nonprofit partners who are out there, Habitat, Baptists on Mission, Samaritan's Purse. There are so many more that I'm not even including, that they have been out there for months doing incredible work. And the fact is they cannot get all of the work done themselves. The nonprofit sector is critical. Neighbors helping neighbors is critical. But when you have a scale of this disaster, a disaster of this scale, excuse me, you need the federal government to step up. And frankly, that has been the biggest thing that's lacking. Not the money that was previously appropriated. We're working with the agencies, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of HUD, the Department of the EPA. Those monies that were previously appropriated are working its way through the system, and we are getting the monies out into the community. But where we are lacking is a meaningful federal appropriation. And so we need Congress and we need the administration to do a supplemental disaster appropriation. I have an $11.5 billion request before them today. We're going to be doing work over the next couple of weeks to refine that, to seek more federal support, which Western North Carolina desperately deserves. And what we're asking for is not unreasonable. What we want is for the federal government to care as much about Western North Carolina as they cared about Louisiana, as they cared about Puerto Rico, as they cared about New Jersey, states that experienced massive storms, but where the federal government provided 50, 60, 70% of the damages to help those places recover. So far, we're at about 8%.
From one disaster to another, any comment on the UNC football game?
Thank you for the reprieve.
On the year anniversary of Clean coming up, can you just be, I know you said the federal government has not met the moment
Yeah.
last time. The response from FEMA and the Trump administration to that was, they said, unlike the previous administration's unprepared, disgraceful, inadequate responses to natural disasters, the Trump administration is committed to ensuring Americans get help in a quick and efficient manner. Do you agree that it's been quick and efficient, and where specifically 11 months later are the areas of support that you're not getting help that you need?
There were a period of weeks, maybe even months, where we were not getting reimbursed by FEMA for expenditures that local governments made. It's called public assistance, to do disaster cleanup or to repair some critical infrastructure in a community. I will note and appreciate that in the last 2 weeks, the states received over $150 million of that reimbursement. So that's a very positive development. We have about 50 million more that they haven't gotten to yet, but the fact that they are working through the list gives us encouragement. There remains about $90 million in resiliency work that isn't done on a reimbursement basis, but you get approval and the check, and then the local government can go do the investment. That money has been frozen. So we've continued to push FEMA to release those funds that have been approved. Where my concern isn't so much as whether the agencies are doing a good job getting out the money that Congress appropriated last December. We've been working well with them in that regard. My concern is whether this Congress and this administration is going to do a supplemental disaster appropriation, because that's where we need real money. We've had good money, but we need real money to help Western North Carolina get back on its feet quicker.
And on the state side, if lawmakers don't come back to Raleigh at any point this year for votes, what does that mean for Western North Carolina?
Well, there's always more that the state can do as well, and we work closely with the legislature in that regard. There are I'm going to be putting forward to them an additional Helene recovery request. We've worked well on the first two. As I said, what they funded has been positive. In my view, it just hasn't been enough. And that's a natural tension that exists between the executive and the legislature. And so we will continue to work through and prioritize what programs really make a big difference and how much to fund them.
Last question on anything we talked about today.
Question just on touching on AI and jobs. How is your administration planning to balance the use of AI to help North Carolinians without possibly eliminating state worker jobs? Because that's always a fear with the rise of AI, that will replace people's jobs. So what assurance do you have to state workers that your jobs are safe and secure?
At this point, we have a number of state government vacancies. Something like 20% of all state jobs are not filled today. So what we have to do is make sure that we are delivering maximum value to North Carolinians, to taxpayers, through government services with the expenditures that we have. So I think that we can do that. I think AI can help us serve people more effectively. DMV is a great example. You know, people have unbelievable and understandable frustration with how long it takes to get served at the DMV. So we're going to analyze what processes at the DMV can we use AI to help get people through the system quicker so that the lines at the DMV offices are shorter. I'm not denying that there may not be employment consequences, whether in the private sector or public sector, but we are nowhere near that at this point. We just want to make sure that government works for people as efficiently as possible. And I was going to ask Tina if you wanted to take that too.
So the other thing I'll add to it is, if you think about AI, we're utilizing it now in many parts. You're utilizing it on your phone. You probably get directions to get here because you avoided traffic and construction, as we all do. So it's an intricate tool that can be used just as any other tool, like a computer. So it's going to make it more efficient for workers to actually do their job. As we look at it, how do we take that efficiency and be able to shift them to doing something else as well that they already have, they just haven't gotten to. So this way, it does work better for all North Carolinians because they're taking everything they're doing and they're able to actually give a little more if they're able to get the task at hand done. So that's why we're trying to use it as an efficiency tool as well, just as every other tool in a tool shed.
Tom, what's your follow-up? Yeah.
Are these meetings going to be public and all related documents? And then Governor Stein, you mentioned the risk factor. I see DIT has on their site about framework and responsible framework and that sort of thing. But what kind of hard sort of safeguards are there going to be? Yeah, great question. Thank you for asking. We are looking at the framework on how to make sure it is safe and integral for all of North Carolinians. And when we do it, of course, we will have it open and for our AI council, and we will have those published meeting minutes and results from those council as well.
Thank you all.